The Future Trunks arc provided us with many amazing elements in Dragon Ball Super. Even if some may not appreciate the ending, we can all agree that it is, by far, the best arc in all of Dragon Ball Super. This is largely due to its two villains, Goku Black and Zamasu. While they are essentially the same person, Goku Black appears to be more cruel and evil than Zamasu. Do not misunderstand me. They were both exceptional villains, so remarkable that they contributed significantly to making this arc superior to all the others in Dragon Ball Super. However, despite the overall brilliance of that arc, there is a plot hole that has gone unnoticed thus far. If this plot hole did not exist, Zamasu and Black would have both been defeated quickly, and Trunks would not even know they existed. To delve into this plot, let us revisit the moment when Trunks escaped from Goku Black to return to the past. At that particular time, Trunks was severely injured, and when he saw Goku, he mistook him for Black and immediately attacked. The moment that concerns us came shortly after. After apologizing to Goku, he informed him that Goku Black claimed to have killed nearly every mortal in the universe. This statement is crucial because shortly thereafter, Goku Black asserted that Trunks was the only one who prevented this planet from falling into his hands. Thus, Earth was the only planet with survivors, and that was solely because Trunks was there to thwart him every time he attempted to kill Trunks or every last mortal on Earth. Even though Trunks knew that he could not win, he kept fighting until Bulma managed to create the fuel for him to travel back in time and seek help from Goku and Vegeta. Now, the plot hole I will discuss in this video is, how was Goku Black able to combat and defeat Broly in the future on Vampa? We are unaware of what happened to Broly in the future Trunks timeline since we know that only Earth had survivors at that time. Even if we assume that the Broly from the future is vastly different from the one in the past, we must still ask ourselves this question. Is it possible for Goku Black and Zamasu to defeat Broly? If that future Broly was not an infant, then it would be impossible. Even if Goku Black came with Zamasu by his side, he still would not stand a chance. You may argue that Broly could be dead in the future because his pod might have failed or crashed, leading to his death. However, I will tell you that we never witness anything like that in the Dragon Ball narrative, and the Saiyans were a highly advanced race, adept at designing pods that could safely travel to their intended planets. Therefore, this scenario cannot occur in the Dragon Ball universe. Another possibility that comes to mind is that Broly was never sent to Vampa. In this alternate scenario, King Vegeta did not send Broly to Vampa because he wanted Broly and his son to become good friends and save planet Vegeta from Frieza's tyranny. He would ultimately perish when planet Vegeta was destroyed. However, this scenario is unlikely, especially considering that Prince Vegeta was absent when the planet was obliterated, primarily because he defied Frieza's orders. If Broly and Vegeta had developed a friendship, they likely would have remained together with Raditz and Nappa, serving under Frieza until Broly became powerful enough to defeat him. Furthermore, the future timeline began to diverge from the present timeline only during the Cyborg saga. This suggests that everything that transpired from the beginning of Dragon Ball until the Frieza arc would repeat, except for Trunks' arrival at the start of the Cyborg saga. Thus, we can assume that nothing could have happened to Broly prior to the Frieza arc. Now, another scenario arises. Broly could have been consumed by a wild beast on Vampa. While this scenario is intriguing, it is unlikely to be true. Firstly, since he was a baby, Broly was strong enough to kill one of these beasts, and even played with one of the largest ones. Secondly, we know that once Broly arrived on Vampa, he was at the top of the food chain due to his strength. Having established that Broly would remain alive in the future timeline, the question remains, could Zamasu or Goku Black defeat him? The answer is no, and it is not even close. At that time in the manga, Goku Black did not know how to transform into a Super Saiyan, and lacked technical compatibility with Goku's body. Indeed, Zamasu at that time merely used his spirit to augment Goku's strength until he encountered the real Goku, and began imitating his fighting style. Do not misunderstand. He was strong enough to defeat Trunks multiple times, causing him to flee, but his power level was only slightly stronger than Goku's Super Saiyan 3. Unlike in the anime, where Goku only utilized Super Saiyan 3 to defeat Trunks, in the manga he actually used Super Saiyan God, as confirmed by Whis and Beerus themselves during their observation of the fight. This means Super Saiyan God Goku would easily overpower Black. So even if we consider Goku's Super Saiyan Rose, he would still lose, simply because Goku defeated Black with his full power Kamehameha during a clash with fused Zamasu's Holy Wrath. In the anime, if Goku can defeat Black, then discussing Broly becomes unnecessary. If Goku Black were fighting Broly on Vampa, here is how I envision the battle unfolding. Firstly, I do not see him attempting to one-shot Broly or destroy the planet. Even if he did, I doubt that would kill Broly, as Broly possesses the energy shield that protected the non-canon Broly when Frieza destroyed planet Vegeta. Yes, Broly does not employ it as frequently as the non-canon Broly did, but he has used it against Goku and Gogeta. Additionally, attempting to one-shot him would fail, as Super Saiyan God Vegeta did try and ultimately failed, leading to the awakening of wrathful Broly. Let me remind you that this Super Saiyan God Vegeta is far stronger than Super Saiyan God Goku in the future Trunks arc. If you want to understand why I believe Goku Black would not attempt any of the actions I mentioned earlier, it is because Goku Black is an exceptionally malicious character. As such an evil individual, I picture him striving to inflict harm on Broly in every possible way, both mentally and physically, especially considering he would be stronger at that time. In the story, Broly did not face many strong opponents or have notable fights on Vampa. His only combatant was his father, who had a power level equivalent to Nappa's, around 4,000 units. Thus, Broly would be overwhelmed at the beginning of their battle, and Goku Black would derive great pleasure from it, even injuring Paragus and taunting Broly simultaneously. This would continue until Broly began to adapt quickly and become angry, which would likely astonish Black. Upon witnessing Broly's rapid adaptation and evolution into a far greater power than his own, Black would unleash everything in a single attack in an attempt to one-shot Broly. However, as we witnessed with Vegeta in the Broly movie, Broly fought in his base form, and initially, Vegeta maintained the upper hand until Broly began to evolve, causing Vegeta to transform into Super Saiyan, and then Super Saiyan God, just to inflict damage on base Broly. Shortly after, Vegeta sought to kill him, paving the same path in this scenario, as Goku Black would find himself in a precarious position. Unfortunately for Black, trying to one-shot Broly would only trigger his wrathful transformation, just as it did with Vegeta. Let me tell you that if Broly awakened this form against Goku Black, he would be defeated in less than 5 minutes, as wrathful Broly was capable of contending with Goku's Super Saiyan Blue in the Broly movie. Thus, Goku Black would be thoroughly overpowered, and even if immortal Zamasu stood beside him, they would be utterly crushed. In Dragon Ball, when a character is far stronger than you, they can easily bypass your immortality, or any hacks and abilities you possess, and terminate you with ease. This is precisely what Vegito conveyed to Buhan during their fight. Therefore, both immortal Zamasu and Goku Black would be swiftly defeated. Now what about Fused, Corrupted, and Infinite Zamasu? Fused Zamasu would be overwhelmed by wrathful Broly, because even though he possessed divine techniques and a halo, he was injured by Goku's full power Kamehameha. We also observed Goku Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken harming Fused Zamasu, confirming that he would lose against wrathful Broly. As for Corrupted Zamasu, I contend that he too would fall to wrathful Broly. Allow me to clarify. Corrupted Zamasu's most significant achievements included fighting and holding his ground against Vegito Blue. While this differs in the manga, it is nonetheless an impressive feat. However, Broly battled Super Saiyan Blue Goku, who held his own against Jiren in the tournament, meaning this version of Broly was significantly stronger than the Goku and Vegito of the future Trunks arc. Next, we have Infinite Zamasu. Infinite Zamasu is particularly challenging for some key reasons. First, he was able to eliminate every Earth survivor in no time, with the exception of the Saiyans and individuals nearby. Second, Xeno was the one who ultimately destroyed him. For this rendition of Zamasu, I believe that wrathful Broly could still triumph. Let me explain. Goku and Vegeta lacked sufficient energy to even transform into Super Saiyans to defeat Infinite Zamasu, forcing them to battle in their base forms until Zeno intervened. As we know, Zeno exclusively uses one ability to eradicate, which is erasure. This is why I stated that if Goku and Vegeta could transform into their full powers, I believe they would have easily defeated Infinite Zamasu. However, the manga's Infinite Zamasu is considerably stronger than his anime counterpart, having generated an infinite number of clones with equal strength to the original. Thus, in order to defeat this Zamasu, Broly would need to transform into his Super Saiyan form. Not because this Zamasu is exceptionally strong for him to handle, but simply due to the infinite numbers so he could obliterate them all simultaneously. It is said that if you don't eliminate all of them in a singular attack, they do not die and continue regenerating. Therefore, I believe that if Zamasu killed Broly's father, Broly would eventually transform into Super Saiyan and annihilate Infinite Zamasu. Let us not forget that this is the individual who held his own against Gogeta, the same person who shattered reality through mere clashes with Super Saiyan Gogeta. Consequently, I am confident that he would manage to defeat and eliminate every version of Zamasu that exists. I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. You can express whether you find the plot hole legitimate or if you believe Akira Toriyama overlooked the existence of Broly in the future before his unfortunate passing. If you have made it this far in the video, thank you for your time and remain powerful.